and welcome to Family Worship Online. My name's Christine and it's great that you can join us. If you've joined us before at Family Worship, you'll know that we're going through a series at the moment called Heroes of the Bible. So far we've looked at Adam and Eve, Abraham, Joseph, last week was Moses, and now this week we're going to look at Joshua. Do you know anything about Joshua already? Well, I'll give you a little clue. Joshua was someone who had to be very, very brave because God asked him to do something that sounded quite scary. I wonder if you would have been brave enough to do it. Do you know what it was? Well, we're about to find out. To help us this morning in Family Worship, we've got another scavenger hunt for you though. This morning, we'd like you to go and find a piece of paper and a pen or a pencil. Ready, go! Have you got yours? Brilliant. Pop them down somewhere safe so that they're ready for later on. And now we're going to stand and worship together.
So today we're looking at our next Bible hero, and that is Joshua. Here he is. But who was Joshua, and what did he do? Well, Joshua was the leader of God's people after Moses. You remember that God had brought the people out of Egypt through the Red Sea. He'd rescued them from slavery and promised that they would live in a land flowing with, do you remember? That's right, milk and honey. A good land, a land full of good things for them. And God gave the people 10 rules for living. How many of those do you remember from last week? But the problem was that God's people were not very good at keeping those 10 rules. In fact, they weren't very good at remembering how much God had looked after them, how much they could trust God, and that God would do everything that he said he would do. They kept trying to do things their own way. And so actually, Moses and all of his generation were told that they could not get to the promised land. They waited in the desert for 40 years. And then, when Joshua became the leader of the Israelites, God said that it was time for them to enter the land. Canaan, it was called. It was a land full of good things, but there were some big people who already lived there. Big people who lived in these big, strong, fortified cities. Perhaps the biggest and strongest of all was Jericho. But God told Joshua and the people that they would take the city of Jericho and that they would live there. But the way he told them to do it was perhaps not what you might expect. Well, Joshua and the Israelites had to be really brave, didn't they, to follow what God had told them to do. We're going to spend a little bit of time now thinking about times where we have to be brave. And we all have experiences and times and situations that make us scared, where we need to try and find some courage and some bravery. So in a moment, what I want you to do is to pause the video and, using your piece of paper and pencil that you collected at the beginning of the service, I want you to have a go at drawing a picture of yourself doing something really brave. It might be something you've already done in the past. It might be something that you know you're going to have to do soon. You're going to see a little video clip in a moment of somebody who drew a picture of themselves doing something brave and explained why she had to be brave in that situation. After you've watched that, then pause, draw your own picture, chat with the people that you're with about what it feels like to be brave, what situations you have to be brave in, and perhaps how God has helped you or could help you in situations where you need to be brave. And then after that, we'll be singing another song. So can you tell us what you're drawing in this picture?
I'm drawing where I was going on my first day at school.
And how did you feel on your first day at school?
I felt quite nervous because when school started, it was after lockdown, so I felt quite nervous.
Because you hadn't been for quite a long time.
Yes.
Did you feel like you had to be quite brave when you went back to school?
Yes, quite brave.
And how did you feel after your first day at school?
Well, I felt a little bit more braver because I enjoyed my first day at school.
That's really good. You did really well and you were really brave. That was excellent. Well done.
Welcome back to this gripping episode of The Wall of Fortune. With all our contestants on the same number of points and just one round remaining, whoever answers this question right is taking home the amazing Wall of Fortune mystery prize. So contestants, how are you feeling?
I'm super excited.
Yes, I feel ready. I'm really looking forward to it.
Okay, well here's that final question. Don't forget to play along at home. According to the Bible, how did the Israelites, led by Joshua, break into the fortified city of Jericho? Here are your options. Write down A if you think the Israelites used a trebuchet, which is a huge catapult that can launch massive rocks to literally smash down the wall. Or write down B if you think the Israelites dug a tunnel underneath the wall and sent their soldiers through it. Or write down C if you think they marched around for 6 days, blowing their trumpets, and on the 7th day, marching around 7 times, blowing trumpets, and waiting for the walls to crumble. Here are the options again. A for trebuchet, B for tunnel, C for marching around, playing trumpets. What do you think? So, contestant number 1, what do you think?
I think it's A. They used a trebuchet to fire rocks at that wall.
And contestant number 2, what do you think?
I think it's B. They dug a tunnel and sent their soldiers through it.
And contestant number 3, what do you think?
I think it's C. They marched around the city and played trumpets really loudly.
Are you sure? The other options seem more logical.
I'm sure, definitely C.
Well, if you're sure, let's find out what the correct answer is. Got it in this envelope. The answer is C. Congratulations, contestant number 3. You win the amazing mystery prize of a lifetime supply of milk and honey. Tell us, what are you going to do with your prize?
Well, I might pour the milk on my breakfast cereal and eat the honey with my toast.
Well, there you have it, folks, another happy contestant. We hope you enjoyed playing along at home. Join us next time on The Wall of Fortune.
Our God is a great big God. Our God is a great big God. Our God is a great big God, and He holds us in His hands. Our God is a great big God. Our God is a great big God. Our God is a great big God, and He holds us in His hands. He's higher than a skyscraper, and He's deeper than a submarine. He's wider than the universe and beyond my wildest dreams. And He's known me and He's loved me since before the world began. How wonderful to be a part of God's amazing plan. Our God is a great big God. Our God is a great big God. Our God is a great big God, and He holds us in His hands. Our God is a great big God. Our God is a great big God. Our God is a great big God, and He holds us in His hands. He's higher than a skyscraper, and He's deeper than a submarine. He's wider than the universe and beyond my wildest dreams. And He's known me and He's loved me since before the world began. How wonderful to be a part of God's amazing world. Our God is a great big God. Our God is a great big God. Our God is a great big God, and He holds us in His hands. Our God is a great big God. Our God is a great big God. Our God is a great big God, and He holds us in His hands.
Thank you for joining us for family worship this morning. We're just coming to the end of our time worshipping together now, but we would really encourage you to check out the activities and the children's plan afterwards and spend some more time as a family thinking and reflecting on the things we've talked about this morning. As we close though, I'd just like to read a little passage from Joshua chapter 6 verse 20. When the priests blew the trumpets, the people shouted. At the sound of the trumpets and the people's shout, the walls fell down, and everyone ran straight into the city. And so the Israelites defeated that city. God was with Joshua when he asked him to do something that required him to be really, really brave, because it did sound like a bit of a crazy thing to do. But Joshua trusted in God. He listened to God and he did what God asked him to do in order to then complete the next step in God's promise to Abraham, so that the people could now live in the promised land. I wonder, this week, will you listen to God, trust in him, and follow what he's asking you to do? Let's say a prayer. God, thank you for the example of Joshua. Thank you that he was brave and trusted in you. Please help us this week to be brave and trust in you too, whatever it is that you're calling us to do. Amen. Thank you for joining us. See you next time.